So Apple had a big event yesterday, and this is the event that we've all been waiting for. All of us tech enthusiasts, all of us Apple crazy gurus, and everything. This is what we've been waiting for. And honestly, I was thoroughly impressed with the way they presented everything. I loved all the presentations, but there was one thing in specific that I really enjoyed a lot, and that was Apple Intelligence, which is what we're going to be talking about. So without further ado, let's just get into it and talk about it and go to the source, which is their website, and let's just get right into it. So I love how it says Apple Intelligence, AI for the rest of us. It says coming in beta this fall, which I'm probably going to be applying for. If you have an Apple product, make sure you apply for this as well, because I'm excited for this. I love the fact that they show you like several examples of how it's going to improve the way the iPhone, the iPad, and the Macs are going to operate. I'm going to talk specifically about this one, the AI generated photos, here in a little bit. Same with this guy right here, because it's talking about Siri. But I first wanted to start out by reading this to you guys. It says, built into your iPhone, iPad, and Mac to help you write, express yourself, and get things done effortlessly, which I love. I love that. And then they also say, draws on your personal context while setting a brand new standard for privacy and AI. Now, guys, I strive for making sure everything I use is private. I strive and I pride myself on a lot of my personal life being private. And I love that that's one of their goals, and that's one of their mottos every time with Apple, is that they strive to make sure that our information as Apple users is privatized. But let's get back to it. So you can see that they have some other examples of how and we'll be talking about some of this stuff here in a little bit. But I wanted to start off with this section right here, write with intelligent new tools everywhere words matter. Apple Intelligence powers new writing tools which help you find just the right words virtually everywhere you write. With enhanced language capabilities, which is really nice, you can summarize an entire lecture in seconds. Get the short versions of long group threads. We've all been there. I get frustrated when I get stuck in a long thread, and it's a lot of the information is just not even applicable to what I was attached to the thread for. And then minimize unnecessary distractions with prioritized notifications, which is something I really like. I like that, the minimize unnecessary distractions with prioritized notifications, because sometimes I get some of the most random notifications. I just think in my mind, like, why did I get this? Like, this doesn't really apply to my circumstances right now. All right, so exploring new features for writing, focus, and communication. Now, let's talk about this first one for a little bit. It talks about how it says transform how you communicate with intelligent writing tools that can proofread your text, rewrite different versions until the tone and wording are just right. Which is actually really good, because we've all been there, where whether it be you're sending a message to your professor, or you're sending a message to maybe a family member, a loved one, a friend, a boss, a coworker, and maybe the tone kind of comes off harsh, and you weren't expecting it to be harsh. You didn't want that to be harsh. And I love the fact that, it will rewrite different versions until the tone and wording are just right. I really appreciate that, because I've had those awkward situations. And, I'm so excited for that feature right there. But then if we go over, here's those priority notifications. If I can get the words out of my mouth, appear at the top stack, letting you know what to pay attention to at a glance. And notifications are summarized so you can scan them faster, which is really cool, because it talks about, it says invite for dinner with Sandy and her boyfriend tonight. It's talking about Instacart. And then there's this one, meeting at 10 a.m., which, look, guys, we've all been there. Let me bring this back full circle. Hang on. I'm talking to you, the person that's watching this video. We've all been there. Even if you don't want to admit it, like, cool, that's cool. If you don't want to admit it, like, in the comments, I understand. but we've all been there where we're just like, I feel like I'm lacking something. Like there's something that's important that's going on that I need to be accomplishing. Like I know that I personally have, like, especially as being a college student, I would go throughout the day. I'm like, I feel like I'm missing something. Like something's off. Then about 10:30 at night, light bulb flicks on in my head, and all of a sudden it's like those SOS cartoon signs you see that you would see in cartoons, when it's just like homework assignment, homework assignment, homework assignment. I was like, oh crap. Oh my gosh. It's due at midnight and it is 10:31 p.m. So I would have to like blaze through the assignment and just think in my mind, like, gotta write this as best as I can, but as fast as I can. So I like the fact that they prioritize, priority notifications, so you can stay on top of the most important things first. All right, then going on, I like this is one that really caught my attention. When they talked about this in the presentation yesterday, I was really excited with this because, look, we've all been there. We've all gotten those emails, whether it be from coworkers or the places we work, or maybe professors or family. There's so many people that email us all, right? And, there's this long email, and I just think in my mind, like, I'll use college, for example. Like, I've had instructors and professors who I don't always see their email, or I don't see something. Like, there was one time when I showed up to class and the instructor wasn't there, and then we were all sitting there for like a good half hour to 45 minutes, and we found out that he was sick. It would have been nice to have seen that as a priority message in my mailbox, but life goes on. Now this one, look, this is something that I really appreciate because, as a human being, as a, someone who is part of this digital space, I get a ton of emails. I get a ton of emails, especially being that college student. And there's sometimes when I've had college professors in the past who they just have this long, drawn-out email. I just think in my mind, like this is literally my face every time when I see this email. I'm just like, I really don't have this much time to spend like a half hour to 45 minutes reading your long email about something you could have just summarized with a few bullet points saying, like, do this, do this, do this, do this, and this, and it's due by this time, this day. And it just kind of drives me up the wall. I sometimes just want to, like, those cartoons where you just see like them like ripping their hair out. That's how I feel. And so going back to this, I love the fact that they talk about tap to reveal the summary of a long email in the mail app and cut to the chase, which is, look, you guys know I cut to the chase all the time. I'm like one of those content creators that, I don't beat around the bush. Sometimes people say I'm a little too blunt. It's a polite blunt, but they have told me I'm a little too blunt because, like, I don't beat around the bush. I bring it down to brass tacks. I'm just like, this is what you got to do. This is how you got to do it, and this is when it has to be done by. And they're just like, wow, you're not holding back at all. And I'm just like, I don't hold back. Like, when something is due, I don't hold back. I talk a lot with my hands, as you guys know. But going back to it, I love the fact that, they talk about, how that summarizes things, and it says, so you can also view summaries of an email right from your inbox, which is really nice. I appreciate that so much. I cannot wait to utilize that in my everyday life, my busy everyday life. And this is one that really caught my eye. It's the hit record and notes or phone apps. So like, let's say, like, if you're talking like on a conference call with a lot of your coworkers, you're planning out like maybe future content for, maybe you're on a content creation team, and I'll say someone can't make it. Well, you can record that whole conversation. And what's cool about this is that everyone that's in that conversation will get a notification that this conversation is being recorded. So maybe they probably shouldn't poke fun at the person that's not there. Like, oh man, did you see what Bill was wearing the other day? Oh, I know. Or did you see what Mary said in the email last week. Oh, I know. I mean, that's probably stuff that you don't want to put, or that you don't want to say in these kind of conversations, because if Mary or Bill hears that conversation and you criticize him, that could lead to some internal investigations. It could also lead to write-ups, terminations, all that kind of stuff. We don't need to get into that. But I love this. And I love the fact that it says just hit record in the notes or phone apps to capture audio recordings and transcripts. Apple Intelligence generates summaries of your transcripts so you can get the most important information at a glance, which I think is so helpful, because I cannot tell you how many times I felt like I was left out of the loop. Like if I wasn't a part of like a Zoom meeting, or if I wasn't part of maybe a Google Hangouts conversation with maybe some of my classmates or people I associate with, this would be very helpful to me. This would be really helpful to me. And I love the fact that they saw this as an opportunity to improve their system. But going back, this is one thing that I'm also really excited for, and that is reduce interruptions in an all new focused that understands the content of your notifications and shows you the ones that might need immediate attention, like a text about picking up your child from daycare later that day. Now look, guys, I'm not a parent yet. But like I said before about this, the assignments kind of thing, like that kind of stuff has happened to me at least 2 or 3 times. Or maybe I forgot that I was covering someone's shift when I back when I worked in retail stores. Or maybe it was the fact that I was supposed to respond to like a family member and didn't respond to them, and they were wondering why I didn't respond to them. So this kind of thing right here will help me out a lot, as I'm sure it will help you out a lot, because look, let's face facts here. Life gets busy. We get there's so many distractions. Like, shoot, this thing is a distraction. The computers are a distraction. How many times have you caught yourself just sitting there scrolling through TikTok, or scrolling through like YouTube Shorts, or even scrolling through social media like Facebook and Twitter X, and you get the text, you're like, yeah, I'll respond to it in a little while, and then you like 2 hours later, you're like, oh crap, I didn't respond to that person. I feel like such a jerk, especially if it's someone from work. That's happened to me a lot, unfortunately. But going back to this next section I want to talk about, this last part of this section I want to talk about is a smart reply. Because going back to the whole being busy, there's sometimes when I don't respond to things right off the bat, because either I'm at work and I feel like I can't really pull my phone out because I'm in the middle of a project or something, or if I'm at like a family get together, or I'm out with friends, this is where that's going to come in handy. Using Smart Reply and Mail to quickly draft email response with all the right details. Apple Intelligence can identify questions you were asked in the email and offer relevant sections to include your response. With a few taps, you're ready to send a reply with easy questions answered, which, this is a great example. It says, hi, Jamie. Hi, Jasmine. I almost said Jamie. Thanks for the invite. We'll be there and we'll drive. Let me know if you need anything else. Thanks, Brian. And then you could just do these quick replies, and you can say, yes, I'll be joining, or I'll be driving, or I'll be taking an Uber, which is so cool. But going on to this part, I love this part where it talks about Apple Intelligence enables delightful new ways to express yourself visually. Now, you guys should know this by now. I'm a very visual person, and I'm sure you guys are as well. And there's something about this that really caught my eye. And I was very excited when they talked about this in the presentation, because if you go on in that paragraph, it says create fun, original images and brand new Genmojis that are truly personal to you. Turn a rough sketch into a related image that complements your notes with an image wand, and make custom memory movie based on a description you may provide. So you're probably wondering, okay, well, what about that memory movie based on the description you provide? So let's say you have a family event. Like, oh, here's a great one. Let's say you got married. and you want to go back and you want to relive your wedding day. And so you can type in with the AI and with the Apple Intelligence, say like, my wedding day with my wife, or my wedding day with my spouse, my wedding day with my family, whatever the case may be. Or you can even say like, my kid's first birthday party, or my kid's first day of school, of kindergarten. And this will bring it all up with just a few words. And I just think that's so cool. But then going on to it, I love the fact that like you can do a rough sketch of like this column and everything, and then it will turn it into like an AI generated structure so you can understand it more. Because look, as a college student, and I'm sure that a lot of people watching this video, you can probably relate. There have been times when you knew you had to draw a quick diagram of whatever the professor or whoever it was teaching had up on the board. And you're having to do this really quick drawing or this scribble. Unless you're like me, I'm a perfectionist because I have the artistic desire. But and then you go back, you look at your notes like, what the crap was that? Like, what was I drawing? Like, is this a spaceship? Is this a rocket ship? Is that a building? Or is that a dog? Is that a person? Like, and I love the fact that with this, it's an AI generated thing. So it'll say like, okay, we understand what you're doing. You talk about the architecture in India, and it's from the 15th to the 18th, and it's chapter 1. And so that's so cool that they have that for people, especially college students. And this is something that I was talking about that I wanted to talk about. Look, we all know that our parents, in most everyone's eyes, we all have had either a mother, a father, maybe a motherly figure, and maybe a fatherly figure that we just thought, man, this person's like a superhero to me. So what this is talk about with this right here is that you can take an image of that person and create an AI generated image, and you can say like, well, you're like my superhero, and then you can add like a cape, and it's so cool. And with this, like, you can do animation, you can do a paint version, you can do a sketch version. There's so many different ways you can do that, and it's so cool. I'm gonna hit the replay for you guys to watch this. Look at this. This is so cool. See, it's thinking about it, searching, and boom, there you have your structure. That's so cool to me. And then this is something that I'm really excited about. This is going back to the create expressive images, unique Jinmojis, and custom memory movies. This is that memory movies I was talking about. This is really cool. The fact that you can produce fun, original images in seconds with the image playground experience right in your apps. Create an entirely new image based on a description, suggested concepts, and even a person from your photos library. You can easily adjust the style and make changes to match the message thread, your freeform board for a slide or in Keynote. And I think that's so cool. I love this so much. It goes back to that whole thing of the AI generation. And going on to this part, I love this where it talks about experiment with different concepts and try out image styles like animation, illustration, and sketch. There's those three I was talking about. And Image Playground app, create custom images to share with friends and other apps and on social media. This is, who wouldn't want to have fun with this? I'm probably gonna have quite a bit of fun with this for the first few weeks when this comes out. And this is one of the things I'm really excited about actually it's the next one. This one is pretty cool though. It says make brand new Jinmoji right in the keyboard to match any conversation. Provide a description to see a preview and adjust your description until it's perfect. You can even pick someone from your photos in the library to create a Jinmoji that looks like them, which is really cool because I don't really use the custom emojis that come on the iPhone right now. I haven't really used them too much because I felt like they weren't where they needed to be tech-wise. But this is that that image wand that I was talking about. And I'm really excited for this because I cannot tell you how this is going to be helpful to me, because it's going to be, I can't even put into words how helpful this is going to be to me. Image wand can transform your rough sketch into a related image in the Notes app. Use your finger or Apple Pencil to draw a circle around your sketch, and an image wand will analyze the content around and produce a complementary visual. You can even circle an empty space, and an image wand will use the surrounding context to create a picture, which I think is amazing. This is why I love AI. AI to me is so cool. Now, really quick, I have to acknowledge the elephant in the room. Some people are like, "Oh man, robots are going to rule the world." Maybe in the future. Now, it's not going to be Terminator or anything. If you guys don't know what that is, go look it up and you'll see what I'm talking about. This is not going to be Skynet. Apple isn't Skynet. This is meant to help people to be more productive. Now, will it make some people more lazy? More than likely. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. And you're probably going to hear some people you're probably going to see, some people will probably get mad by me even saying that. But that's just how it is. But going back to it, I want to go to this right here. Create a custom. This is what I was talking about, with that custom memory movie. Create a custom memory movie of the story you want to see. Write in photos. Enter a description, and Apple Intelligence finds the best photos and videos that match. In the crafts, it then crafts a storyline with unique chapters based on the themes it identifies, and arranges your photos into a movie with its own narrative arc. Now, this is, to me, is really cool. It says search photos and videos in the Photoshop app simply by describing what you're looking for. Apple Intelligence can even find a particular moment in a video clip that fits your search description and takes you right to it. So this goes back to the whole, wanting to remember maybe the last time you saw your grandparents before they passed away, or maybe a special time you had with your spouse and children. This is where you can do that. And I'm so excited for this because I got a lot of photos and videos on this thing right here. And man, I cannot tell you how excited I am for this. But let's go on. Now, you guys remember earlier when I said we were going to talk about this? This is the Siri. I have to talk to you guys real quick. Have you ever had that love-hate relationship with Siri? Where you're just like, where you're basically arguing with Siri? Look, I know you may not want, you watching this, you may not want to admit it, but I'll admit it. I've had times where I'm just like, no, Siri, that's not what I asked. Or I'll say things like, Siri, like, why do you suck? I would get really frustrated with it. And so it got to the point where I basically stopped using Siri for things and even on my watch, sometimes on my Apple Watch, Siri will come up. I'm like, I didn't request you to come up. And this is a really cool thing because Siri is getting a big update, and I'm so excited for this. So let's jump back into it. So it says Siri draws on Apple Intelligence for all new superpowers, which, I love superheroes. I love the concept of superheroes with an all-new design, richer language understanding, and the ability to type Siri whenever it's convenient for you. Because honestly, guys, have you ever been in those situations where you're just like, I really need to send a message to a coworker, but I'm at my wife's birthday party, or maybe I'm at this graduation for one of my kids, and I can't just, because we all know. Here, I'll even do the little noise for it. Oh, I think I turned this noise off. That little ba-doot, that comes up when you, great noise, right? When Siri comes up. And now, going back to this, I love the fact that it says right here, the ability to type Siri whenever it's convenient for you. Communicating with Siri is more natural than ever, equipped with the awareness of your personal context, the ability to take action in and across apps, and product knowledge about your devices, feature things. Siri will be able to assist you like never before. And one of the coolest things about this is that Siri won't come up with this little circle now. That was a conversation with Killdeer I was having. It won't come up with a conversation like that. I mean, it won't come up with a little circle like that anymore. It goes around the sides of your phone, which I think is really cool. Or it goes around the sides of your iPad or around the screen of your Mac. And I think that's amazing to me that they had such and advancement and such a big update with Siri. I'm so excited for this. And it says, discover even more capable integrated personal Siri. And this is what we're talking about. Siri has an all new design that's even more deeply integrated into the system experience with elegant glowing light that wraps around the edge of your screen, which is what I just talked about. With a double tap on the bottom, your phone or iPad screen, you can type Siri from anywhere in the system when you don't want to speak out loud. Like, I mean, this is a little bit of a pun or joke, but like, how awkward would it be? Like, if you're sitting there, you're at the grocery store, like, wow, this girl's really hot. You don't want to sit there with Siri out and say, Siri, how do I talk to the hot girl in front of me? Like, it just makes you awkward because the girl, number one, you'll be embarrassed. She'll be embarrassed. And maybe it could turn out to be a great love story, but maybe you can just, instead with this, you can just type Siri and say, hey, Siri, how do I ask out this person? Now, if you don't know how to ask out a girl, like, this is not the right channel for you. I'm sorry. This is a tech channel that we are talking everything about tech. This is not a dating channel, but that's just a little quick example. And then going on, it says tap the expansive product knowledge Siri has about your device's features and settings. You can ask questions when you're learning about how to do something new on your iPhone, iPad, and Mac. And Siri can give you step-by-step directions in a flash, which is a good thing, but at the same time, maybe it's not a good thing for me because I'm the tech guru that everyone in my family comes to. So they're going to probably maybe they'll replace me with this. Like, that would be unfortunate if I just got replaced with AI with all the technical questions. Like, I don't know how I would feel about that. That kind of makes me a little worried, but I don't think my family would replace me with that. They'll still say, like, how do you do this? How do you do that? But yeah, let's go back to it. And then the last thing I want to talk about is with great powers come great privacy. Now, look, guys, that is a major, major comic book Easter egg. Now, it involves a superhero. I'm not going to say what. That's just your only hint, but make sure you tell me in the comments below if you know what great powers come with great privacy refers to. It comes from a line from a series of comic books and movies. Make sure you tell me what it is because I want to know. But going on, it says Apple Intelligence is designed to protect your privacy at every step. It's integrated into the core of your iPhone, iPad, and Mac through an on-device processing, so it's aware of your personal information without collecting your personal information. Which they actually talked about that, in the presentation yesterday. They talked about how there's a lot of AI places out there that they have like what's called like a storage bank where they can store like a lot of your personal information, and that if someone wants to hack it, they could potentially get some pretty serious and sacred or secret information about you, whether it be your social security number, your birth date, your address, your credit card number, and so on and so forth. But with this, they talk about how it's aware of your personal information without collecting your personal information, and with groundbreaking private cloud compute, Apple Intelligence can draw on a large server-based models running in Apple Silicon to handle more complex requests for you while protecting your privacy, which I, again, really appreciate. I love the fact that Apple's all about privacy. They want to make sure their users' private information stays private. Private cloud compute. Your data is never stored. Used only at your request. Verifiable privacy promise, which I don't know about you guys, but like I hate getting those emails from like Experian and other places saying like we found some security information of yours on the internet because someone's thing was hacked. I love the fact that this says it right there that your data is never stored, used only at your request, and verifiably privacy promise. Guys, there's so much. And then this is the very last thing I want to talk to you guys about with this, and we all know ChatGPT. ChatGPT has been very helpful. You talk to teachers and professors and instructors, they may not agree with that statement. They may say like, oh, how dare he say that it's an amazing tool. But with they've now going to be including ChatGPT into the Apple Intelligence. And let's just read this real quick, where it says, with ChatGPT from OpenAI integrated into Siri and writing tools, you get even more expertise when it might be helpful for you. No need to jump between tools. Siri can tap into ChatGPT for certain requests, including questions about photos or documents, and it can and with compose and writing tools, you can create and illustrate original content from scratch. Your control with ChatGPT, if I can get the words out of my mouth, is used and will be asked before any of your information is shared. Anyone can access ChatGPT for free without creating an account. ChatGPT subscribers can connect accounts to access paid features within these experiences. Guys, this is amazing. I love the fact that even right here, it talks about how new app intents, APIs, and frameworks make it incredibly easy for developers to integrate system level features like Siri, writing tools, and image playground into your favorite apps. There's so much about this that I absolutely adore and love. Now, there's a lot of people that will probably be watching this like, well, I don't have some of these products. Well, then make sure you tell me in the comments below what AI products you use and what you like about them. And those who have the the iPhone, the iPad, the Apple Mac, make sure you tell me like what products you're excited for with this Apple AI intelligence that's coming out, because this is an all-inclusive. Like, I don't want to exclude anyone from this. Like, whatever AI experience you're using, make sure you tell me in the comments below. And on that note, I will see you in the next video.